about your book.
Oh, go ahead.
So do you think you would, based on your experiences so far, would you ever want to write a second one?
I have several ideas. I have a really cute story together about bonding that I wrote right when I published this one, but it's not illustrated yet. And then I've had a few ideas for one for parents as well of teaching chemistry. So we'll see.
Very nice. Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Is it like now you've got the bug, you want to just carry on doing it?
I think right now I'm just surviving the quarantine. We've kept my son home from daycare, and I have taken a step back from a lot of my work, and I've just been kind of promoting the book, and that's it.
Yeah.
So right now I'm just trying to make sure my son still gets a preschool education and we all keep our heads about us. But yeah, I've definitely got the interest of like, I have an idea like, ooh, I could just tackle that. And I've just kind of poured it into the Instagram account of like, ooh, that's a fun activity. How would I tie that into chemistry? And so I think that's kind of like a little notebook in my head of where I could go with some things.
Nice. Yeah.
I
think
oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, my YouTube channel launched literally on like the 9th of March, so a week before lockdown. So I kind of had the past 6 months of not really having anything else to do but the YouTube channel. And part of me is slightly worried about how I'm going to cope when everything starts up again, because obviously I've got myself into this routine. And, you know, I've been able to take on other stuff like collaborations, and like the Instagram posts have become way more than just a YouTube advertisement. Like that's why I started the Instagram and Facebook, was to just say, remember my episode came out today kind of thing. But that's got quite a big following. So now I'm having to produce extra content for the Instagram. So yeah, it will be really interesting to see how I handle when stuff like the sport comes back and socializing and stuff. It'll be a learning experience.
Yeah. I found that I ended up starting I bought a planner and I put content, like ideas in it, but I put it in pencil so that if things change, that I have a backup plan. But no, I totally agree. I wonder about after quarantine, how sustainable some practices are.
Yes, exactly. Because at the moment, I already feel busy enough. And I don't know whether it's you fill the time you have, or I literally need that much time to do everything that I'm doing. So it'll be interesting how, I guess, life changes after quarantine. And
my book launched in quarantine. So we didn't have any launches. There were no readings anywhere and things like that. And then the actual literal book launch day was on Blackout Tuesday in the US, where there were the Black Lives Matter protests. And my publicist and I decided, well, we have to announce the book today because this is its day that we picked 6 months ago, but we also don't want to take away from other people's voices. So we just announced it in the morning and then didn't do anything the rest of the day. But that's something that I've been kind of going up against, was just like, how do you promote your book if you can't go out and show people your book? So it's been all digital.
Interesting. So how can you do that? Is that through reaching out to other like Instagram accounts, I guess? And
it's forming collaborative relationships that are not inauthentic, so that they're really like, we really talk and we really follow each other, not just like, hey, I've got this person I've never talked to before on here. And then I've got podcasts I'm being on, but podcasts still don't really see a book, you just talk about it. So I'm still working on that. We haven't really done a virtual book launch, but there are a lot of classes for kids that are online using Zoom. Over here it's called edutainment. It's that hasn't thing, and I'm working with a few places to do like a class where we do a demo, we read my book and like that.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it's a whole new field I did not know existed.
Yeah, I can't say I've heard of that over here. I don't
I
know.
hadn't either. So you talked about how you got into physics and what you
Yeah.
do with physics, but how did you end up in science communication or SciComm? Because you're a
Yeah.
pretty big name in it for SciComm. You have a lot of followers, and if you look up like influencers, and that's you. So how did you end up in this?
Yeah, so I've always kind of volunteered for STEM activities like going to schools and presenting to them about engineering and all of that. Um, and I guess late last year, so I used to drive a lot for work. So I used to have, solid hours where I couldn't do anything else but think about stuff. And I was just thinking, like, what am I passionate about? What am I enthusiastic about? And it was basically like communicating science. I didn't really know that like SciComm was a thing at this time. So I was like, I love getting like showing other girls that physics is fun, and especially like when I'm at the pub with my friends. So we all went to school together, attended the exact same classes. I'll just like tell them facts over a beer or whatever, because I'm like, did you know? Like, how did you not know this? Like, how cool is this? And often they're like, oh my God, never knew that. That's so cool. And I'm like, yeah, like everyone else is going to react like this. So I kind of was thinking about that, and how, yeah, it's great that I go to schools, but you can only visit so many schools. And I was like, how can I extend my reach? And then obviously I thought the internet, like YouTube. And yeah, when I thought about it, like in the UK, there's no predominant female scientists. You can find them when you go looking for them. Like now that I'm on Instagram and I'm looking for SciCommers, like I know of so many great accounts and women. But before this, I was like, all I knew about was Professor Brian Cox. He was quite a big scientist in the UK. So there's no one like mainstream, in the spotlight. And I just thought it would be great to kind of try and help towards that battle, like join the fight, trying to get females out there. So yeah, I just decided to start a YouTube channel and see what happened. And like I said, I started the Facebook and Instagram just as a kind of advertising tool for the YouTube. And yeah, Instagram's kind of bigger than YouTube at the moment, but I'm holding out, hoping that I'm not too late and people are still interested. I think that coronavirus might have affected that, because obviously my audience is high school students. Mm-hmm. And if no one was sitting exams this year, and if no one was going to classes since I've launched, then why would they be YouTubing what is like gravity or whatever? Why are they going to be looking this stuff up? So who knows? Coronavirus might have an effect on that as well.
Yeah, definitely a kink in everybody's plans this year for sure.
Yeah,
especially with schools. Are you in the UK? Is it online schools right now?
We've gone back to school.
Okay. In the US, we're still hybrid, where some people went back and some did not, and so a lot of kids are online. And I know that a lot of parents didn't like the online and ended up pulling out and doing homeschool. And so that crowd is really big on Instagram right now. I bet a lot of both of our followers are part of that crowd. So you are focused on making sure young people, but especially women, find physics interesting. Where do you see this account in 5 years? Like, where do you see this going? What is your, like, if it could?
I have no idea. I mean, the absolute dream, the space gal, she's obviously, she's just, Netflix has just launched her series of Emily's Wonderlab.
Yes.
That is, I think, maybe every SciCommer's dream, but definitely mine. That is just so cool. That is like the epitome of SciComm, and she's done such an amazing job, especially getting like young kids to be on it and doing the experiments.
And
So
then I
yeah,
haven't seen it yet, but she was pregnant while filming that too, correct?
yeah,
That
yeah,
is,
yeah, yeah,
that's huge for women to be able to
yeah.
have, she pitched a show and filmed it while pregnant. Like, that's amazing.
I know. And like when you read her caption, she was saying about how so many broadcasters like turned her down, saying that their audience for science, their audience don't want females, which really shocked me. Because I kind of thought everyone's kind of on the same wavelength, like wanting women to be promoted through science and trying to get more women into science. But yeah, she said she got a lot of no's because people didn't want females presenting a science show. So yeah, it shows us still a lot of work to do, I think.
Yeah.